We welcome Reverend Gordon Bailey.
I feel like I was memorialized. You know, young, no. Gifted, I hope so. And I used to be black. Don't get it fuzzy. I always got to remind y'all. Somebody said to me, how could that be? I said, shoot. Folks been losing their color for 444 years trying to get out of the way of white folks. See, if we look like y'all don't mess with us. So here I is. All right, I'm gonna start with something. My president for my congregation is here. Janet, wave your hands, throw your hands up in the air. Janet Landau from the Sepulveda Unitarian Universalist Society. Now, every time I come back, y'all don't have to introduce me in a big way. I'm always glad to come here because you all have a universal notion of spirituality and theology that resonates with me. So I love what you all do and what you're about. When you light those candles, my heart goes pitter-patter. Pitter-patter, pitter-patter. So here today, on this Juneteenth holiday, a holy day, because when freedom came my way, oh, I wanted to celebrate. You know, I'm a Jamaican, half Jamaican, half of the United States, and Bob Marley always resonates in my heart. He sang about shooting the sheriff. Well, I ain't shooting nobody, but freedom came my way one day when I started down that academic way. All of a sudden, white supremacy tried to hold me down, but I wouldn't play around. And I say, freedom is what this life is all about. And if you don't have yours, you better find it before you check out. See, freedom means more than just having the ability to go to work, pay the mortgage, be somebody's spouse. Freedom has more to do with your internal capacities to let your mind be unshackled, to let your mind be free, to throw off the yoke of paternalism, patriarchy, white supremacy, to throw off the yoke of these things that separate and divide the human family. We have been under some oppression for so long, I wonder if the human family even recognizes what it would be to truly be free. So young, no. Middle-aged, I'm an AARP guy. You know, old, kind of gifted, and black internally, mentally, right? Black mentally because I grew up in the struggle of the 1960s. The first thing I remember on television are the water cannons being sprayed on those freedom fighters, people that wanted to vote. I watched the documentary on YouTube earlier today. Give them a plug, right? They're getting our message out there. And Professor Gates from Harvard University was speaking about Juneteenth. He said only about 500,000 African peoples were freed initially when President Lincoln, who I think has a touch of the tar in him, that's what we used to say. I think Lincoln's some part black. Look at the New York Tribune. They wrote an article way back long ago in the 1860s, Africanus Lincolnus. Check it out. Brother got some coarse hair. I know what I know. All right now, we need DNA on all the presidents so the truth can be told. Dwight D. Eisenhower told my father that his grandmother was an octoroon. That make you black in my book. See, the one-drop rule was what America went by. All right. So let me share with you what I wrote, because I could just talk extemporaneously and I'd be like, did I tell y'all what I really needed to say? So about what I came to deliver this day, the joys of freedom and why we better work extra hard in the here and now, because I see fascism and totalitarianism and systems that will oppress the human family in a global way, growing in power and in strength. And we're even looking at somebody that would be president that is in bed with Vladimir Putin. And I don't think that's a good thing. I need our American leaders to be a guiding light. See, our nation was supposedly founded on freedom, but remember, only land-holding white men were really free. And white men had the audacity to give black men voting privileges and not their white women. Boy, that would, if I was a woman, you wouldn't have gotten another piece from me ever. You know, that Greek comedy, Lysistrata, where those Greek women refused to sleep with the men of Athens and Sparta until they stopped warring. Shoot, every white woman should have said, no, baby, it's not happening. I don't know what y'all white women was thinking, but anyway, if you can channel your grandmothers and great-grandmamas, you ask them, because no, that's a no. You gave who? 4/5 what? Right? 4/5 human. But you gave them a vote before you gave women. So we've got issues. So here, I've got some freedom quotes for you. And here's purportedly the motto for America, meaning the United States. I don't know why we take the whole continent as if we have a right to do that. Right? Canada and Mexico are part of North America, and there's all of South America. All right. But this motto that I found says, freedom for all forever, the motto of the United States of America. When was this? Not when you felonize people like you turn on a water faucet. Not when you deny people their rights. All right, here's another one that I thought was interesting. John Adams, second president of the United States, Unitarian, one of my people, right? John Adams stood up for those folks, for the rights, the liberty. Well, went to England and was doing work with the British folks to get us our freedom. And John says, children should be educated and instructed in the principles of freedom. Not if you live in a state that's denying access to books. Not if you live somewhere where you can't say the word gay. Not if you live somewhere where Black history apparently isn't United States history. Although, let's be clear, Canada and Mexico have had black folks for a long time, too. Yes. In fact, Yanga, Mexico, was the first free black community in what's North America outside of Veracruz. All right. Here's another one I like. George Washington, founding father. Have you all ever met any white Washingtons? Never. I've never met a white Washington. Anybody? I'm puzzled by this, but anyway, and in D.C., across the river from Mount Vernon, there's a whole lot of black folks named Washington. They say George didn't meddle his stock, but I'm here to tell you. All right. So George said, liberty, when it begins to take root, is a plant of rapid growth. Well, let me tell you how it grew. When the cause of liberty came to the minds of the Africans who had been in bondage, they never wanted to look back. MLK famously said, freedom is never voluntarily given by the oppressor. It must be demanded by the oppressed. And I'm here to tell you, whether it's women, the LGBTQIA plus community, immigrants, whoever they be, where'd y'all families come from? Half of mine's from Jamaica, but the other half been here since the 1600s. But we all came from somewhere. Are there any full indigenous people in this room? One person. I want to honor you and thank you for letting me be on Turtle Island. I have no right to be here in my way of understanding this world. Going to someone else's house, take what's theirs. Freedom for who? Justice for who? Liberty for who? This right here is Tongva, Gabrielino, right? Who else is from here? Janet, tell me, I'm forgetting. Chumash. This here be their land. Do we remember them? Do we call their name? Say their name, and give them some money too. They're still here and alive, right? Freedom. Benjamin Franklin had the audacity to say, where liberty dwells, there's my country. Then I guess all the rest of us that weren't being treated with that should have bum rushed out of here. So let's be clear. What is the United States is an experiment. It's an experiment in multicultural, multi-ethnic, multi-religious, multi-gendered, every kind of classification you could put upon the human family. We're an experiment. An experiment that is having profound implications for the whole world. In the Guide for Spiritual Living for today, I was most impressed with the reading. It says, make bold changes. Let me give you this quote. All that you touch, you change. All that you change changes you. The only lasting truth is change. God is change. Well, the march towards what is a more perfect union, towards what is a more perfect incarnation of paradise on earth for all of the creation, is each and every one of us experiencing freedom of the mind, freedom of your spirit to follow whichever one of those guiding lights is your spiritual bright star, constellation that you're going towards. Freedom of your body to deal with it medically as a man or a woman as you see fit. Freedom to express yourself as they or them, or whatever designation you choose to give yourself in your personhood. Freedom to live where you want to. This here Valley of Los Angeles was one of the most segregated places in the nation. The small little black community that used to live out here, is it Pacoima? Pacoima. Let me stop losing my New York accent. Right? And I found out today the last governor of Alta California was a negrito, an Afro-Mexicano, Pico. How many of you knew he was a black man? Pico, that boulevard is big, isn't it? Isn't it even the last governor of Alta California? But why would you learn that? Why would a nation that only sees one color, lifts up one people, lifts up one gender? See, in this here moment in time, freedom is needed for everyone, and we've got to express it spiritually. We got to express it economically. We got to express it academically. The chains must be unshackled for everybody. How long must we wait? Now, y'all supposed to say, too long, right? How long must we wait? Too long. Is that acceptable? And y'all say no. What are we going to do about it? Change. Because change is in the deity, or is in the very nature of the divine. Lord have mercy. We've got to find the capacity within ourselves. If you drink too much, give it up. If you smoke too much, put it down. If you eat too much, push it away. Find some rabbit food. If you're too angry all the time, get some help. If you're too sad all the time, find somebody that loves you to give you hugs. See, change is necessary if we're going to bring about the more perfect union, the more perfect global experience. See, I was here doing so much work. Brother Salam Thompson?
Yes, sir.
All right now, I heard Brother Thompson in the house. I was looking at something. You know, right now, according to the United Nations, there are over 50 million people living as slaves right now. When you buy your clothing, do you ever look at the labels of where it comes from? I used to love those women on that commercial. Look for the union label when you are buying a dress shirt or blouse. You see, unions matter because without unions, they don't pay people decent wages. And with all this clothes coming through Walmart or Target or whomever it is, they're coming from non-union sources as they make their mega dollars, and we continue to contribute to the oppression of peoples globally. In my beloved Jamaica, they have offshore docks where they're not made to follow the laws of Jamaica and pay the people in those factories substandard wages even for Jamaica. And trust me, none of the standards in Jamaica is high. People living and suffering daily. I went further and I said, well, if there are 50 million in the world that are slaves, how many in the United States? Y'all have any idea how many are here? Oh, see, I lived in New York. I saw some of them. I literally saw people that when I tried to inquire why they were doing what they were doing, they were told by their masters and mistress, don't talk to that man. Some of my friends from Nigeria had brought people here to the States who were their slaves. See, in Africa, there's a lot of slavery. In India, there's a lot of slavery. But here in the United States, they estimate that there's somewhere between 400 and 500,000 slaves living in our midst. Okay, so this isn't let's beat up America, let's beat up the great white way, let's beat up all the things that are of our nation. That's not my intent here. My intent here is to galvanize support for us to do the right thing, to seek higher ground by lifting up those who are suffering. We've got a serious houselessness issue, right? I don't know how we fix that. But I do know where two or three are gathered for the highest possibilities that a human can bring, that universal mind, that God-given mentality, that spirit is available to us to discern how to make things better. Right here in this room, the brilliance of each of us sitting here, channeling that higher power, we can figure something out. We may not be able to figure everything out, but we can figure something out. I saw something in an article entitled Spirituality is True Freedom, the Journey Towards Pure Love and Innocence. This is by Ruchi Talwar. She says, once India wanted to be free from the clutches of Britain. Once India gained independence after the many protests, deaths, and conflicts. But even after 75 years, are the Indian people free? Have any of you been to India? If you go, just watch that movie Slumdog Millionaire if you want to get just a little taste of what's going on. She goes on to say the conflict of equality in gender, race, color is on the rise, right? So that when I was a boy, the Stonewall riot happened in New York. You know, a black trans woman is the one that put that into motion. Huh? The LGBTQIA. Once again, somebody black had to pay the ultimate price for moving America forward. Right? Because as black folks rise, women and other people of color always rise with us. Sometimes, in fact, they get more than us. Black folks did all that work, and white women were the #1 beneficiaries of all the legislation of affirmative action. I'm just trying to keep it 100%. 1 year law school, I dropped out because I said, oh, there's no justice. But my mom and dad are lawyers, my brother a lawyer. Trust me, I've been watching judges and legal matters my whole life. Watch too much news. My wife hates it. Lisa, I know you're listening. She says, turn that thing off. Makes you angry. Yeah. Righteous indignation. You understand me? When you see something wrong. Say something. All right. So, what is freedom? We are all aware of freedom to do what one wants as an ideal. Well, I had a friend that all he wanted to do was snort cocaine. Bad idea. I had another friend that liked to shoot people. He's dead and gone because somebody shot him. I had another friend that liked to meddle children. Man, I didn't know he was going to be a pedophile when we were children. He was my childhood friend. See, freedom isn't free. None of us have the right to do exactly what we want. The narcissistic American peoples, and I do mean Mexico, United States, and Canada, because there's never been a more narcissistic bunch of people in a global mass before. Like our big cars, you ever seen so many SUVs and trucks? What happened to the energy crisis? What happened to clean air? Freedom. Freedom is about doing what is right, having the ability to discern what is right. So when I say to you, when you look at the next baby or infant you see, that cherry grin that they may be giving you, the bliss that they radiate, it's not dependent on money. It's not dependent on the house, the car, the position, the relationships. Their innocence is authentic. But dear friends, something happens to the vast majority of us as we grow older. We forget the innocence. But I'm here to tell you, you have the capacity, you have the knowledge, you have everything at your fingertips to really live free, to unburden yourself, to throw off the shackles, to forget those linked oppressions, and to go forward with your life in a way that radiates goodwill, justice, freedom, and love for all. Do you all believe that you can do that? You can be that light, that source that's like giving out something good? Come on, president of mine. Do you believe you can do it? Yeah. All right now, because that's what I need. I need each of us, no matter what our circumstances. See, I brought a little friend along, Nelson Mandela. 26 years in that prison cell on Robben Island. He didn't come out bitter. He didn't come out trying to get people back for what happened to him. We probably should have had a bloodbath in South Africa. The white South Africans still have 99% of the wealth. But Nelson Mandela refused to let his nation descend into a bloodbath. He said, we're better than that. So working for freedom is a daily exercise. Working for justice should be on the minds of everybody, not just the oppressed. Working for the higher ground that this spiritual movement of yours and mine offers is where we've got to go if we're going to make this world a better place. This morning, I woke up with freedom on my mind. That's an old Negro song. Woke up this morning with freedom on my mind. But I heard the words of Stevie Wonder. And this song, I think they're going to play it at my birthday or my memorial. Play it for me all the time. Love's in need of love. You know that song? Love's in need of love. Well, if there's to be true justice, true liberty, true freedom, it begins with love. Let it reign supreme in your lives. Amen? Amen. All right, amen. Y'all are too kind.